Hi everybody, I'm Bob and this is Florida Prepping. So today's topic is going to be water. We're going to do small amounts of water storage and we're also going to do some different types of filtering. Before we get started, I want to note that the topics that we have covered so far are short-term solution topics. As the channel progresses, we're going to cover the long-term solutions for food, electricity, water filtration, and things like that. But for now, we're going to do the short-term solutions. That being said, we're going to start with life straws. So these are straws. You can literally go to a mud puddle, put the straw in the mud puddle, and get clean water out of the other end. That's what they're designed to do. You can also use them for pools. If you're in a situation where, for example, you're in Florida, you get a hurricane, you have a pool in your backyard, which pretty much everybody does, you can use this straw to drink out of the pool and get clean water. There is also another type. This is called membrane solutions. It's pretty much the same thing as the life straw. It's just not a branded name and the instructions aren't very good on what it filters out. So the life straw, it says right on it, removes 99% of bacteria, E. coli, etc. Removes protozoa giardia, which is the stuff that makes you go poop. And then it also says that it will filter up to 1,000 gallons per straw. So that's a pretty good solution. Next, we have the Brita water filter. This is ours. What we do is we take water out of the tap. If we know that there's a hurricane coming or that there's a bad storm coming, we will fill this up. And in extreme scenarios where the grid goes down and the water is no longer drinkable, we will use this in addition to the SteriPen. So the SteriPen is a UV light that is specifically designed for something like this, where you filter the water, you filter out all the bacteria and stuff, and whatever this misses, this will kill. And that's just, for us, it's just a extra step that we want to go to make sure that we don't get sick when everything goes south. So putting these two together, we're going to come across this again later. Putting those two together is a good idea because you're redundant, and you want to be redundant when it comes down to those scenarios, because the more caution you put into your water, the less likely you are to get sick. And you want to avoid being sick, especially when the grid is down, hurricane scenarios. Going to a hospital during a Category 4 hurricane is really not an option. That being said, we have a scenario where I ran across this a few years ago, and this is a filter that you can buy from Wise Food Company. There's also other places that you can get these type of filters, but I tripped across this years ago, so I purchased it. And what it is a filter where you take out the filter itself. It has a little, do this carefully. It has a cloth that goes over the filter. Take this out. Goes over the filter like so. So this is how this works. If I can get it to fit. So this is how this works. This right here is a nipple that you're going to use to gauge and drill a hole between these two buckets. So these buckets come with food packages in them, so you're going to take all the packages out. You're going to take all the packages out of this one. You're going to put the lid on the bottom bucket. You're going to put the lid on the bottom bucket, and you're going to set this bucket on top of this one. You're going to drill a hole through both the bottom of this one and the top of this one. And that's where this goes in. Once you get this in, you're going to put the seal on it. You're going to put the plastic nut on it without stripping it. You're going to put the plastic nut on it, and then you're going to take this portion. Let's open this up. First time opening this up. So this is actually your valve. So you're going to drill a hole in the side of the bucket, and then you're going to put a washer here, then you'll put this in, you'll put this washer on the inside, and then again a nut. You'll put the nut on, and then you fill this up. And what happens is when you fill this one up, this will filter out all of the bacteria and everything. Let's see if it says 99% of fluoride, bacteria, arsenic, plus other viral reductions. So other viral reductions leads me back to the SteriPen. So once you fill this up, it takes its course. It takes a little bit of time to filter through the water and everything, but you get the clean water out of the bottom. You use the spigot, fill up your glass of water, and then use the SteriPen to, once again, extra step, to sterilize the water and make sure that it's extra good. And that will be semi-large amounts of water. So it says through this that you can do how many gallons? It doesn't say how many gallons off the top of my head. But it'll last, filters last approximately 30 to 35 gallons of water per day. Right here, 30 to 35 gallons of water per day. So that's pretty good. That's good enough for a family of 4. So we'll make note of that. So the next one that we have, put these away. The next one that we have is water storage in a little bit larger capacity, and this is called a water bob. And I stumbled across this also about 5 years ago. We had a bad storm, and for whatever reason, I was looking around on the internet for types of storage devices, and I found this. So this is a food grade bag. It comes with a pump that you can see right here, and it's 100 gallons. So this bag is designed to go into a bathtub. And what you do is, when you know there's a bad storm coming, you fill this up, and then you take to protect it, you take a piece of plywood and lay it over the top of the tub. And what that does is, if something really goes south and walls fall in, roofs fall in, whatever the scenario is, that water is going to be protected, and you now have a bathtub full of water that you can have readily available. I'm glad I have not had to try this out, but I really want to try it out. I'm glad that I haven't had to. We do live in hurricane country, and when we don't have hurricanes, we still get really bad storms that tend to knock out power and a lot of wind and stuff like that. So I'm fortunate enough on that end. One of the other things that I wanted to cover, how to fill this up. So let's say there's no way to fill this up. You don't have a bathtub. There are houses that don't have tubs. But you do have somewhere to put this, whether it's in a tub or something like that. One of the crates that you can find for, I don't know, say your solar panels are delivered, something like that. Fill this up. You can use this hose, which is a food grade hose that you can get from any RV store. They typically use it, they'll connect to water spigots and stuff like that, and they'll fill up the tanks on the RVs and stuff like that. So we've had this, we have not had to use it, but it's always good to have a food grade hose. This way, if you do need to fill something, you don't need to worry about the hoses that you use in your garden, stuff like that. So, one of the last adventures, I kind of pride myself on this. It's filters water from seawater. I've worked the majority of my adult life in aviation, and this was one of the things I was fortunate enough to come across. This is actually a water filtration system that is in the life raft of aircrafts. So what you do is you take one end of the hose. I'm not going to open it because I have it sealed. You take one end of the hose and you put it into the salt water, and then you take the other end and you put it into whatever you're going to fill, whether you're a container or what have you. And then there's a little hand pump on here, and you hand pump it. Not easy to do. You hand pump it and it filters the salt water out and gives you fresh, clean drinking water. So that's important for us here in Florida, because if our water table does get contaminated for one reason or another, I still have a way to drink fresh water. So I like that. Last but not least, I know it's not drinking water, but cleanliness is important. This is actually a shower bag. So it holds 5 gallons of water. It's a solar shower, so you can take it and hang it up on your gutter or something like that, fill it up with water, and let it set for a couple hours. It'll get nice and warm, and then you can have a warm/hot shower to rinse off with. Cleanliness is important when it comes to being grid down, and it's very important to keep clean, because when you do get cuts and stuff like that, you want to be able to know that you can stay clean. That's pretty much all the topics that we have for today. As I mentioned in the beginning, as the channel grows, I'm going to go into more long-term solutions for water storage. They have a lot of big totes out there that are 6x6 cubed. They hold a lot of water, up to 1,000 to 1,500 gallons, I believe it is. There's also scenarios where, in the next water video that I do, I'm going to do a filtration system that you can make yourself from a couple of jugs, activated charcoal, sand, rocks, and stuff like that. I'm actually looking forward to that one because I've never made one before, so that'll be interesting to see. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we can get the YouTube algorithms going and get this channel moving forward and do some larger projects. Thank you. Have a good weekend.